Hello! Welcome to episode 12, perhaps the best episode thus far, of Bleep Bleep Bloop Bloop. This is an audio podcast with some visual interest element being played. And if you're watching the video version, there's something going on, some video montage, some kind of short footage clip that has been artfully provided to accompany this audio podcast. But if you're listening to the audio version, on whichever platform of your choice, fear not, you're not missing anything. This is not, I'm not going to be pausing now and then to comment on a soldering of a particular joint on a PCB or something, or to talk about something you'll need to refer to a video. This is, don't worry, you don't need the video to appreciate my blisteringly insightful commentary here. All right, so how are you? I hope you're well. I'm okay. And if you'd like, if you're not already subscribed, please consider giving me a big old subscribe right now if you can, and a thumbs up and a like and a heart and a maybe whatever else, whatever the mechanism for signifying or signaling your appreciation of this content. Please consider bestowing one of those upon me, okay? And I would love to read your comments and questions and suggestions for improvement, perhaps, if they're good faith, well-intentioned, constructive criticism, or not. Maybe you just want to tell me I'm a fool. By the way, I concede I'm a fool. No problem. But I'm always trying to improve. I'm always seeking enlightenment, even in the way that a worm in the rain will seek dry land, will kind of come out of its hole. I'm seeking enlightenment in a similar fashion. But we'll see how it goes, So what do I have for you today? Well, let's see here. I'm looking at my Twitter feed. It's not Twitter anymore. Of course, it's X. Elon Musk, the richest man on earth that we know of, that's acknowledged, that is not hiding away from public scrutiny. His website, he's called it X. Some people call it Zitter, X-I-T-T-E-R. That's fine. I still call it Twitter. If I visit the site, I still visit it by typing in twitter.com into the URL bar. I still use the URL bar, by the way, in browsers. I'm not just pointing and clicking all the time. Okay, so I'm just to give you something to think about or something to appreciate, maybe some visuals. So people I follow that I like their accounts. Okay, there's an account called Alexander's Cartographer, and their account name is @cartographer_s. And usually they post beautiful paintings and illustrations. I tell you, I just saw recently they posted one example of what I'm pretty sure was AI slop. So, Alexander's Cartographer, this is your first and final warning. Please don't post any more of that. But most of the stuff they post is quite good. Okay. Another account I follow that I like their stuff. They're reposting old art. They're not doing the art, but it's new to me. Okay. Ozymandias is their name. Their username, so you can find them, is @ and then 0 ZMNDS. So, for example, in my Twitter feed right now, Alexander's Cartographer, we have a view of the two synagogues of Amsterdam by Gerrit Beckheide, or Beckheide, it's like a Dutch spelling name, Gerrit. Oh, it's not Beckheide, it's Berkheide, Berckheide, in 1685. And it's a lovely painting. And then we have, so for Ozymandias, a couple of things I can see from him. It's an illustration, it looks like a pencil sketch by Edmund Blair Layton, and it shows, I think it's a mother who's lost her child, and she's kneeling at the shore, and there's a rowboat. And there, in the rowboat, there is, I guess, like the ferryman of the River Styx type of character, a hooded character. He's manipulating the oars, and there's an angel with wings, and the wingtips are dipped into the water, and the angel is holding, seems to be an infant. So it's a sad but very beautifully done. Looks like a charcoal or pencil sketch. And also they're showing a painting, looks like with gold leaf, by Marcel Camerer, and it's of a woman holding roses, I think it's roses, looking at something like some Egyptian style relief or something like Egyptian style, or maybe not Egyptian, maybe it's a Christian sculpture with gold leaf applied to it. Okay, another account I encourage you to follow is Humanoid History, and that one's easy. They haven't been kicked or banned. They're not on their 15th username, this person. It's at Humanoid, Humanoid, History, capital H History. And the one I'm looking at they posted it's a 4-panel. They posted 4 illustrations. So Twitter makes a little gallery with 4 pictures, 4 little thumbnails. The art of Kelly Freas, 1922 to 2005. So they're similar age cohort to Ray Bradbury. Okay, what else? I'm scrolling through some stuff that's not as interesting, perhaps. There's other good people I follow. Okay, I encourage you to follow SFF Audio. And their username also seemed to have been very circumspect in their activities on Twitter. They're on their original username, I think. It's at SFF Audio, AUDIO. It's all one word, no underscores, no dashes or anything like that. I believe this gentleman makes audio recordings of himself reading science fiction classics, stories from magazines, not full-length novels. But I confess I haven't listened to any of his readings, but he does surface stories, novellas and short stories that I'd never heard of before, and I probably wouldn't have heard of if not for his activity. So I really appreciate him as well. And who else do we got? Okay, there's an account, Weird Fiction. Not Weird Fiction, Weird Friction. Haha! But their username matches their name. So I think also they haven't been booted off before. So it's at Weird _Friction, Friction, not fiction. Sorry, I misspoke before. Interesting stuff. There's a lot of, I tend to follow people who retweet or tweet about art or science fiction or horror film, a genre, science fiction, fantasy, and horror movies, books, and television shows. That's the least aggravating and most enjoyable online viewing for me. There are more than that, but those are the ones that are on my timeline right now. So what else do I have for you today? I'd like to pick up where I left off in the Patreon half of the previous episode. So if you're not a subscriber, you wouldn't have heard my talking about Logan's Run and the attempts to remake Logan's Run, the efforts that so far mercifully failed, and we have been saved from a terrible remake of Logan's Run, the 1976 film. Okay, but so I've got a copy of a book that was difficult for me to get. Not as difficult as some, but for example, I couldn't directly ship it from the United States to where I am. I had to go through an intermediary. I had to use a package consolidation service to reship it to me. It's Nolan on Bradbury by William F. Nolan. William F. Nolan is one half of the team that wrote the original novel, Logan's Run, that was then adapted into the film with a lot of changes to the plot and to the characteristics of the society in the book. That was a hit in 1976. It was a hit. It was kind of sort of forgotten or deprecated, or it fell into obscurity a little bit, but then it was brought back. Okay, and I've read part of this book. It's mostly William F. Nolan's articles and commentary, and on Ray Bradbury is what it mostly is. Not completely, but mostly. And I tabbed some interesting details, interesting to me, and I hope will be interesting to you. Okay, so this is unusual because it's Nolan writing about Bradbury, but then Bradbury had written intros to two editions. He'd written two different intros to 2 editions of a short story collection by Nolan, and those introductions were adapted and smushed together to make a short piece for this book. So we got Ray Bradbury talking about William F. Nolan in the book that William F. Nolan wrote about Ray Bradbury. So this is published by Hippocampus Press in 2013. It's got a black and white cover illustration, and the illustration on the back, it tells you that cover illustration, quote, The Pedestrian, close quote, by Joseph Mugnaini, courtesy of the Mugnaini estate. I'm probably butchering the name. I'm very sorry. Joseph, Mugnainy. Sorry, God. Should I make a little noise here and remind myself to go back and fix that? I'll leave it all in, okay? Mugnaini. And that was an artist. Okay, I want to click-clack. I want to hit the keyboard. Sorry. I gotta look it up. Because I remember there was an association of Bradbury and that gentleman. So, okay, I'm typing here. the last name and the artist. See what I can get. I think they worked on Halloween Tree together. Yeah. Okay. Wikipedia. This is me reading parts of Wikipedia article to you. Sorry, but it's interesting. Joseph Mugnaini. Joseph Anthony Mugnaini. July 12th, 1912, in Via Reggio, province of Lucca, Lucca, January 23, 1992, was an Italian-born American artist and illustrator. He is best known for his collaborations with writer Ray Bradbury, beginning in 1952. He was born Giuseppe, so not Joseph. He was born Giuseppe. You can look it up. I can't say his name properly, sorry. In Via Reggio, in the Tuscany region of Italy, and immigrated with his family to America when he was 3 months old. He and his family resided on Solano Avenue in Los Angeles, California during the 1930s, and Altadena during the late 1950s. He became an American citizen in 1941. That's good timing. He trained at Camp Ritchie in the 10th class and is one of the Ritchie boys of World War II. Who were the Ritchie boys? Okay. The Ritchie Boys, part of the U.S. Military Intelligence Service at the War Department, were an organization of soldiers in World War II with sizable numbers of German and Austrian recruits who were used primarily for interrogation of prisoners in the front lines in counterintelligence in Europe. That's part of it. Okay, interesting. He taught art at the Pasadena School of Fine Arts and others. The Pasadena School of Fine Arts, did that become Cal Arts? I don't know. Did it? The Wikipedia entry doesn't have a link for that. It's not a link. I don't know what happened to the Pasadena School of Fine Arts. He died in Los Angeles on January 23rd, 1992. They don't show... They don't have links to a lot... They have a bibliography that covers some books he wrote. They're like technique books, teaching books. Drawing, search for form, oil painting techniques and materials, the hidden elements of drawing, and then drawings and graphics. 1982, expressive drawing, a schematic approach. 1989. They have links, external links to oral histories and interviews. Audio interview of Joseph, I can't pronounce his name properly, on illustrating for Ray Bradbury. Interesting. I think, I remember now. Okay. The 1962 film, Icarus Montgolfier Wright. It was a short film. I think Ray Bradbury wrote the script, and then the art was by this gentleman, and part of the voiceover was by him as well. Not the whole. There were also other voice actors. Oh, crazy. So ku.edu. Oh boy, all the links are dead. Oral history interview. These are all links to KUSCH Scholarworks. .ku.edu, and it's a DSpace installed, the software DSpace, and they're all dead. Ugh, man, a bummer. Ugh. That's the crazy thing. You trust these universities and academic institutions to be sort of like trustworthy repositories of human knowledge, but unfortunately, it doesn't really work out like that. Even, I think I've blathered about this before. This kind of thing really bums me out. I am in terms of impact on the world of art or literature or anything, I'm not even an ant. I have no footprint. I will probably leave nothing behind that endures for any period of time. But here you have one of Ray Bradbury's collaborators, a skilled artist, and they set up some information, some data about this person was retained. Some audio recordings were preserved. And then at KU, is it Kansas University? I'm not sure. Ugh, good grief. So, sorry, hiccup. Some institution was entrusted with some materials. And now what happened to them? University of Kansas, right. And they've misplaced them or moved them, and all the Wikipedia links are dead. And it's just typical, you know? Maybe archive.org would have a backup, the Wayback Machine. Am I going to search this in real time? Oh boy. That is, to me, is annoying, really. Ugh, sorry, I'm dragging here. So, anyway, so the cover illustration is by that gentleman. And it's a cool illustration. It's kind of there's a moonlit night with some dark clouds that eventually, depending on the direction they're moving, they may obscure the moon in a moment if they're animated. And it's like an urban area with a lot of towers, like Gothic or like kind of old church bell tower type towers, peaked pyramidal towers, the little wind vanes or lightning rods on them. And there's a bright light, like as if from a drop flashlight, and it's shining at a figure wearing a hat and looked like dressed in a suit. And it casts a huge silhouette on the wall behind him. And, it's actually a clock tower. It's actually a clock tower, and he's standing in front of a clock tower. Quite well done. And then on the back cover, you have a photograph from the looks of it, maybe from the early 1990s, of Ray Bradbury with Mr. Nolan. Anyway, so the second tab in this book that I've got here, and this is Ray Bradbury writing in this section called About Bill Nolan. Here is where I will take one very small, insignificant bow. After all, I only made the suggestion. Bill followed up with the work. I suggested that he write 52 short stories or articles a year, one a week, to put himself in training to do good work. And that's interesting to me. I put a tab on it because it was the same advice that I heard. You can look up videos of Ray Bradbury speaking to large groups of college students in the 1970s, I think, and also 1980s. He gave commencement speeches later on also. He talked at graduations in the 1990s and early 2000s. He was telling people the internet sucked. Turns out, spoiler, he was right. The internet does suck in many ways. And he was also telling people don't watch their local TV news because it's just about murder and robbery and graping. We say graping. But then I said murder. I didn't say birder or whatever. Do I have to speak in code? Anyway, he's telling people don't watch the news. Forget about it. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his earlier speeches, his talks and Q&As he did with college students, I think in the 1960s, 70s, in campuses in the University of California system, I believe, screenwriting students or creative writing students. And he told them, he had a prescription. Read each night one short story, one poem, and one essay about anything. The subject matter doesn't matter. Okay? And then he said they should write one short story a week. He gave them like a kind of a homework assignment. And turned out he gave the same advice to Bill Nolan, to William F. Nolan. And William F. Nolan seems to have done it, and he became an author. And maybe not as widely known as Bradbury, but he was a published author, and he was a screenwriter, and so on. This is an interesting detail I didn't know. Okay, so I have read some Ray Bradbury biographies. I enjoy reading biographies of people who are not, maybe not world-striding heroes or great men. People who are like, I don't think I would enjoy reading a biography of, say, Napoleon. Okay? Or Hirohito of Japan, or General Tojo or something, or FDR. I've never felt a compulsion to run out and buy a biography of FDR. You know what I'm saying? Or even like Eisenhower or something like that. It's not my bag. Or the closest I've ever gotten to a biography of a world changing figure would be, I read a book. It's a fictional book. It's called The Black Dog or something. It's about Churchill's depression, and personified as an actual talking black dog. Oh, Chartwell, that was the name of it. Let me see. I'm looking up the book now. You can hear me typing? Chartwell. Wait a minute. Is it because I'm using DuckDuckGo? I need to use Gurgle. Try Gurgle. I add in the word book. That should do it. Wow. Huh? So Chartwell is the name of the estate. I think it's the name in the book of the dog. Wait a minute. Okay. Do I have to go through my Amazon history and find when I got the book 100,000 years ago? That's a bummer. I don't like to see the old purchase history, but I will. For you, the people. I'm pretty sure the title was Chartwell, or had Chartwell in it. Whoa. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe I'm mistaken. Or maybe I bought it from Book Depository. I'm typing. Okay, I think I found it. But the cover is different than what I've got. Yes. I think this is the one, but different cover. All right, wait a minute. Can I find the cover I have? Yes. Okay, I'm right. All right. Ooh. So the American cover on Amazon doesn't match. I must have gotten it through Book Depository, which tells you, it dates it already. It tells you that I got this book some time ago. All right. So the novel is called Mr. Chartwell. The author is Rebecca Hunt, spelled very simply. Rebecca, Rebecca, and Hunt, Hunt, just like they sound. Okay. And if I remember, I've read it cover to cover. I enjoyed it at the time. I'm not feeling any strong primal urge to go dig it out and reread it. I think it's already packed away, to be honest. It's packed away. I'm still packing books. at the time I'm recording this. So Rebecca Hunt, I don't know, what's her career done? So the book was published in 2011. Woo! That's some time ago. 2011. Gosh darn. Okay. And what else has she written? I see 3 books here. But can we pick? I want to pick hardcover. Okay. Still showing 3 books. It's showing Mr. Chartwell by Rebecca Hunt. And then it's showing Everland by Rebecca Hunt. And then another edition of Mr. Chartwell. Ooh. Wait, see all books. Will that help? She published more? Nope. It seems like that's it. I wonder. So Everland, when was that published? Published in 2014. What has she been up to? Everland, also set in olden times. Partly set in olden times. Okay. She's still alive. God bless. I worried she maybe had a victim of a suddenly, or a short illness, as many people have been post 2021 for no particular reason that we may enunciate on this public facing podcast. It's just, you'll have to figure it out. You'll have to intuit what I mean. But they say she is, she lives and works in London. She's an artist and author. Her first novel, Mr. Chartwell, is long listed for the Guardian First Book Award. Okay, she has a website, RebeccaHunt.uk. I'm reading the biography from her site. Rebecca Hunt is a London-based artist and writer. She graduated from Central St. Martin's with a first-class degree in fine art and is exhibited widely in the UK. Her paintings of psychedelic landscapes and fantastical creatures explore themes of myth, superstition, and folklore. Alongside her art practice, Rebecca writes fiction for adults and stories for children. Her writing has been published internationally. Her first novel, Mr. Chartwell, was longlisted for the Guardian First Book Award and shortlisted for the Galaxy New Writer of the Year Award. Her second novel, Everland, was longlisted for the Royal Society of Literature's Encore Award. Encore, I guess, for her second book's portfolio. Oh, okay. So it's that type of thing. And not my cup of tea. Her art, not my cup of tea. But I'd say I would buy books with these as book covers. They're much preferable to the crazy, Acme Supply Company, weird, generic packaging style we're getting. These are disturbing, somewhat not beautiful. But, no, wait a minute. There's one called Lion. It's acrylic gouache on paper, 42 by 30 centimeters. That looks cool. Okay, so it's titled Lion. There's a green and blue, it's an illustration, the green and blue lion in the center, shooting some kind of blue beams out of its eyes. And then it's circled by lightning bolts and a kind of a red swirl. And overlaid with that are white, bedsheet style white ghosts that seem to be flying in circles around the lion. And the lion is hitting one of them with its blue beams out of its eyes. It's really cool. That one I like. That one's, for me, it's the best. Some of the others are not bad. I'm not an art expert. If you know MC Bess, MCBESS, it's not the same, but it may be kind of evocative, the same kind of feeling as some of that stuff. Not bad. Okay. She has a shop. She sells prints. Does she sell a lion? Oh, she has an Etsy shop. Wow. The year 2026. You read a novel, and then you find out the novelist also is a painter, and the painter has an Etsy shop. And then you click on the link, and then you find out they're not selling on Etsy now. It's temporarily shut down. Rebecca Hunt shop is currently not selling on Etsy. We're here if you need help with an order from their shop. Have questions, visit our help center. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, she's not selling now. Oh, that's a shame. And again, I'm boxing everything. I'm boxing books, boxing this, boxing that, boxing everything, taping, zip tying. So it's unlikely. I wouldn't splash out on a print of one of these interesting artworks necessarily at this precise moment. But maybe she'll restart her shop at some point, and maybe the option will be there. Because on her website, RebeccaHunt.uk/shop, it says at the top, the paintings are available as original acrylic gouache artworks or premium quality giclée prints. For a wider selection of prints, please visit RebeccaHuntShop.etsy.com. Maybe I could contact her and say, when I'm in the mood, when it's more practical, I could email her and say, hey, sorry to bother you, but what about lion? I'm interested in a lion. Would you sell me a giclée print of lion? Anyway, as I was saying, the only case where some kind of real someone who really affected world events, I've read anything like a biography, it would be Mr. Chartwell. And that's a novel. It's fictionalized. It's not an actual biography of Winston Churchill after he leaves office and he's in retirement battling depression. The black dog of depression, who's named Mr. Chartwell. And I guess his estate where he lived was Chartwell. So that's why it's Mr. Chartwell, because he's in retirement on his estate. So that's it. I've read a lot of biographies. Oh, wait. I've read a biography of Alexander the Great. That was, I had to read, does it count? It was like a children's, it was like a young adult popular reading biography. It wasn't like a super in-depth scholarly biography of Alexander the Great. I've read biography. Okay, wait a minute. They have those, the short, what do they call them? The ones about philosophers. Wait a minute. I'm going to look that up. Would that be on Amazon as well? So I can share it with you. Boop, 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 beep, bop, beep, bop, bleep, bloop. I'm typing here. So it's Socrates, not Socrates. What was the guy who lived in a barrel? It starts with a D. Lived in a barrel. Philosopher. I'm on DuckDuckGo. Lived in a barrel. Starts with a D. Diogenes. Good grief. I swear to God, I'm not a senior citizen. I'm far from it still. But I'd forgotten Diogenes' name. Okay. So I've read biographies of some figures, and there's a series of them, including Diogenes. Oh, man. Were those book depository, too? I packed them all away. They were very cool. They're by Shakespeare and Company, I think. Wait a minute. Or is it some bookstore in Paris? Or some bookstore in London? Some weird, cool bookstore. Quirky Diogenes biography published. I know the cover if I see it. And now I'm doing image search. Oh, boy. Plato and Company? Is it? Oh, good grief. They did others. I think they even did Einstein. Man. Okay, wait a minute. I have a trick I want to try. So we go back to Amazon. I didn't get it from Amazon. I must have got it from Book Depository. They ship for free. No, the books costed more. Or past tense cost. The books cost more, but they shipped very cheaply. Free, in fact. So, sorry. So, Diogenes, and hardcover, and published before, say, 2010. Let's try that. Will that give me what I want? Say, before 2020. Got it. Okay. Whew. Plato and Company is the name of the publisher, and maybe the bookshop. Good grief. Okay, I found it. Diogenes the Dogman. That's the book I was trying to look up, okay? It's published by, the publisher said Diaphanes, Diaphanes, published in 2017. It counted as a hardcover, but I can tell you it's not a traditional hardcover. It's like a floppy cover. It's thicker than a paperback cover, but it's not really a hardcover, okay? So it said, the title in the Amazon entry is Diogenes the Dogman by Plato and Company. The illustrator, the illustrator is Vincent Sorrell. The narrator is Jan Marchand, and Anna Street is listed as a translator. So I will surmise that this was published in French because the illustrator and the author are both Frenchies, and then it's got a translator attached. So Plato and Company, what is Plato and Company? So when you Google Plato and Company, Plato and Co. with a CO dot, you get the top result is the University of Chicago Press, and then the next result is Diaphanes.com, and the publisher on Amazon is Diaphanes. So I guess it's Plato and Company is an imprint or a series from Diaphanes. Okay, so I went to the uchicago.edu, press.uchicago.edu, backslash UCP, /books, /series, dia-pc.html. It's browsed by series, Plato and Company, published by Diaphanes. Okay. So, interesting. So mostly, I see a lot of, they're not all French. Like Jan Marchand, the author of the Diogenes book. I can see him for Diogenes here, but also for a later book, 2018, Martin Heidegger's Grouch. A book about Heidegger. Anything else he wrote? Most of the original authors are all French. Okay, so I'm going to just give the titles of the books, all right? So they're in chronological order. The bottom is the oldest, and this is the UChicago site for this series. The Ghost of Karl Marx, September 2015, by Donatien, Donatien, Mary. So Mary Donatien. But they've got it weird. They've got it. The name is not Donatien Mary. Usually it's last. If they have a comma after the first name, then it means it's last name first. Then, okay, The Ghost of Karl Marx, 2015. The Death of Socrates, 2015. Mr. Descartes and His Evil Genius, 2016. 2016 also, Hannah Arendt's Little Theater. Then 2016, Wittgenstein, saying the German way, the W's a V, Wittgenstein's Rhinoceros. Then Professor Kant's Incredible Day in 2016 as well. 2017, Dr. Freud, Fish Whisperer. Then 2017 also, Diogenes the Dogman. And then Albert Einstein's Bright Ideas. And then in 2018, next year, Martin Heidegger's Grouch, which I've already mentioned. It's by the same guy who did the Diogenes book. Then in 2018, Lao Tzu, or The Way of the Dragon. And that was also 2018. Then 2019, Kierkegaard and the Mermaid. And same year, Newton and the Club of Astronomers. And then 2020, Leibniz or the Best of All Possible Worlds. Oh, that one I'm interested in. I might want to get. And then 2020, the last one that's listed on this page, by Jean-Paul Mongin, M-O-N-G-I-N, Why Do Things Have Names? So this one is not a specific to a historical figure. Unless, I don't know, why do things have names? That's interesting. But okay, let's check out the page at Diaphanes. Okay, it lists all the same books and no others. So the series stopped in 2020. But their description of the series at this is at diaphanes.com/REIHE. It seems like German to me. Maybe it's French. /Plato-CO-40. Why 40? Don't know, okay? But the description, Plato and Company. At its most basic, philosophy is about learning how to think about the world around us. It should come as no surprise, then, that children make excellent philosophers. Naturally inquisitive, pint-sized scholars need little prompting before being willing to consider life's big questions. However strange or impractical, Plato and Co. introduces children and curious grown-ups to the lives and work of famous philosophers, from Descartes to Socrates, Einstein, Marx, and Wittgenstein. Each book in the series features an engaging, and often funny, story that presents basic tenets of philosophical thought alongside vibrant color illustrations. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? And I have a number of these books, okay? I have, I think I have Socrates. I have the Karl Marx. I may even have the Wittgenstein book, but I haven't read it. I may have the Kant book. I definitely have the Diogenes book. I have the Einstein book. I don't think I have any of the others after that. I don't have Kierkegaard or Heidegger or the Newton book. But now that I'm seeing them, if only I weren't packing boxes. Anyway, how did I get into talking about searching for this series of books, Plato and Company books? It all began when I was I was searching my mind. I was trying to answer the question of, have I ever read a biography of an important world-striding person? I've read biographies, but of lesser, usually artistic figures, writers, artists, and so on. So it all began when I was trying to answer that question. If I've read any biographies of any important figures in history, Ray Bradbury is important to me. I've read biographies of Ray Bradbury. I've read interviews, books of compiled interviews. And yeah, I guess if you count the Plato and Company, they're aimed at children and curious adults. So I guess I count as a curious adult. So the answer would be, after all, yes. But what I was getting to is the third tab. The third tab in Nolan on Bradbury, this book published in 2013 that something interested me, a detail that I had not heard before. And I've read books of interviews of Ray Bradbury and I'd never heard this detail. So I'm going to read a paragraph. This is about 1940, I think, in his life. He did not attend college, he meaning Ray Bradbury. Instead, he worked at the corner of Olympic and Norton selling newspapers and rented, very cheaply, a small downtown office, which contained nothing but a desk, typewriter, and chair. With determination and energy, he began to write. Sights, descriptions, conversations. He put them together to form stories totaling over 3 million words, all of which he later burned in disgust. His reward was a rapidly accumulating pile of rejection slips. So what's a detail that is new to me? I knew that he was selling newspapers on a street corner at one phase in his young adulthood. I was aware of that. I was not aware that he was using the money from selling the newspapers to pay rent for a tiny office where he lugged his typewriter. He bought the typewriter previously. It's his typewriter. It didn't come with the office. I didn't know he lugged the typewriter to an office that he was renting, and he sat there and wrote all the time. I had no idea. That's very interesting. It's not, you often hear of authors and playwrights and screenwriters and things having some other space outside of their home where they would try to work. Okay, so I remember Phil K. Dick. He had some sort of a shed. And what's the name of that guy? The guy who wrote Pygmalion, I think? George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw also had some kind of a weird little shed. His was on it was on some kind of a Lazy Susan. The whole thing was on a Lazy Susan. You could turn the whole shed. I don't know. I haven't read enough about George Bernard Shaw to know what that was about. But it was a rotatable shed. And then you have Ray Bradbury renting this, and even at that early stage, he's unpublished. He's renting a one-room office to sit and clack away at his typewriter. It's interesting. It's a new to me detail. Significance? To you? To me? I can't say. But it's an interesting wrinkle, a small detail I had not heard of before. And with that, I'm going to stop the public half of this episode. I have to go back and make some cuts. First of all, where I was desperately questing online, looking for Plato and Company. I knew it was something like Plato and Company, but when you look Plato and Company on Amazon, nothing turned up. I had to look chronologically. I had to do the advanced book search by the topic had Diogenes in it, the title of the book rather, and I published before 2020 and hardcover, and I found it in a list of that. That's how I found it. Otherwise, I never would have found it. All right, and then also after I fecklessly knocked something down to the floor here, and then the piece of plastic snapped off, and I was trying to find the broken piece of plastic that is flopped off, and I haven't been able to find it yet, and perhaps I never will. Maybe it will remain for posterity. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for now. Continuing on the Patreon. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear from you, and take care. And if you leave a comment, I will probably answer. I will try to answer, even with all the chaos currently in my life. Take care. I wish you the best. See you on the Patreon in a moment. Bye.